Hey, everybody. Welcome in to another edition of Talented Thursdays. I'm your girl, Kimberly Eichelle, and I'm so glad to have y'all here with me. So glad to have you here with me. So come on in the room. You know, I am so happy that I have this gentleman here with me tonight. But before we get into that, how your week been? What y'all been up to? Let me just say that things have been busy for me. Also, y'all, it's been a lot of stuff going on, you know, as far as trying to make sure that everything is in order for this show. It'd be rough out here. Anybody out here that, or out there, I should say, that wants to assist, I need some assistance. I can't pay you right now, but if you want to volunteer, and you got some room for me, let me know, okay? Let me see who joined in the comments. I have Jessica Roberts watching. She said, hey, Jessica, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I am excited to bring up a special guest tonight. This gentleman is near and dear to my heart. We have Shayna Cole tuned in. I believe that she knows this man better than a lot of people, probably almost as well as he knows himself. Hey, Shayna, it is just amazing to have you all tune in. I am enjoying what I'm doing. Talented Television, for those of you who are here for the first time, is basically a show that's designed to inspire, to educate, to uplift, and to let dreamers know that they can reach their goals. And so this gentleman tonight, I have known him a very long time, and I have seen what God has done in his life. Let's see here. We have Shayna. She's laughing because she knows this man very well. Y'all will find out how in a little bit. Also, I have, let's see, Jessica talking to Shayna. She said, hey, sis. Hey, sis, that's right. Show the love out there in those comments. So let me tell you all about our guest today, okay? He's from the state of Washington. We call it the TAC 253 Tacoma. Shout out to everyone there. I have known him since he was in high school. He went to school with my brother, and he became part of the family. So he was in high school, you know, they had a little thing during that time, a little group, you know. So I know that he's always loved music, And today you're going to find out more about what he's been doing since about 2000 when he graduated. Okay. So y'all stay tuned. You are watching Talented Thursdays. Now, let me tell you, make sure that you are subscribed, that you are liking, sharing, and commenting. And let me thank you all for watching. Those of you that are watching on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, and those of you that are listening on Vegas Praise. Make sure, if you haven't downloaded Vegas Praise Radio, make sure you download the app, y'all. Stay tuned. Here we go.
I don't think they're ready for this. You know what time it is? It's about that time of the week to showcase what you got, the talent that we have. It's a whole lot. You can sing, you can dance, you can rap, you can write. It doesn't matter. You know what time it is? Put your hands in the sky and wave them side to side. Every foot alive. Talented Thursday with Kimberly Eichelle. Let's go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Again, I'm excited to have this gentleman here tonight. Y'all, I'm having technical difficulties. I don't know what's going on, but I tell you what, it's still gonna be good. Let me bring up to the stage producer, musician, the man himself, Michael M.I. Cole. Clap y'all hands out there. What's up, M.I.?
What's good? How you
Yes,
doing?
indeed. I'm doing well. How are you? How is Tacoma?
Blessed, and even though some people may not admit it, they're blessed too. It's beautiful out here. Matter of fact, look, this is how God be working. I don't even know how I did it. Wait, in here. See how I get it in the camera.
Oh, you got a little tan? Is that what you're talking about? What you got?
Now y'all can't see, but look, the temperature is let's see, we are at 79, 78 degrees right now.
Oh, y'all feeling good out there. Feeling real good.
It's 17 right now. So yeah, for it to be around that time, it's pretty good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I miss Tacoma a lot. I miss the greenery. It's so green there. I mean, it's literally called the Evergreen State. Now, did you grow up in Tacoma?
I did. On the hill, on the east side, went to church on the hill, All-Time Memorial, Kojic, Church God in Christ, and we've had a lot. Matter of fact, that's where Crystal Akins came out of there. Just a lot of talent in general have come out of All-Timer. But yeah, I've been here pretty much born and raised.
I love it. I love it. So you said you grew up on the hilltop. So shout out to the hilltop and all the people there around Tacoma. And of course, the Church of God in Christ, because I grew up in the Kojic Church as well. I grew up at Greater Joy, and we got some good teachings and things like that, right? Going to convocation. I'm sure we probably saw each other. I just didn't know who you were because you was a little younger, a little tight. You was like my brother.
That's how a lot of people said too. They was like, "Oh," and then when we say how our age, it's like, "Oh, he wasn't too far behind us," but we was little.
Exactly. But when you little and you already little, and then you see a little kid, it's like okay.
And you got to treat them like you way bigger than them, even though it's only like 2-3 years difference.
Exactly, not a whole lot, but it made a difference at that time, right?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. So growing up in the church, Mike, tell me how you kind of got into music and things, because I know in the Church of God in Christ, music is all around us. We have it for prayer, opening prayer. We have it when the choir sings. We have the praise and worship team. We have it at offering time. Music is all throughout the service. And so tell me what music was like for you when you were young. How did that minister to you?
Oh man, great question. Okay, so first off, we had a setup to where like all the kids who did like music, and let me even scale back to a few scales. So my dad was one of the musicians, and he plays guitar. He still plays currently. Nice. But, my dad was a guitar player, so he was one of those that was to this day, like he's a trailblazer in the at the church that we grew up in. And then my business partner and best friend, we call him Breeze, but Christopher Fuller, his dad played the bass. So them two were next to each other, holding it down. And then, you had the drummer. So it would be bass, guitar, and then drums behind them. And then the keyboard and the piano and organ were up on the top area. So all the kids who was interested, or if you was a musician's kid, you was in the front row, and we all had drumsticks, all sitting there, airplane. And, we would get in trouble sometimes too for talking too much, but you know how that goes. But
I do.
We took it in at an early age. And then even at an early age, we were singing in the, like back then it was called the Sunshine Band. I'm sure there's a few churches where it's still called the Sunshine Band, but it was the children's choir. So we were in the children's choir, going up to the youth choir, to the young adult choir, you know how that goes. But somewhere in there, we became musicians. And so it just was one of those things. I feel like birthed into the music.
Wow, wow. I love that. And it's funny because you mentioned the Sunshine Band. I was going to ask you if you were a part of the Sunshine Band, and I should have already known that answer. Okay. I was a part of the Sunshine Band too. As well, when I was a part of the Sunshine Band, Crystal was in the Sunshine Band. Okay. So we would go to convocation and she would be leading all the songs. You know what I'm saying? So we grew up together and those were great times. But I love how music was such a big part of your life that you even remember the setup, the way that the, sanctuary and the musician stands and things like that was set up, and like you said, your dad being a musician, and his friend being a musician, Chris's father being a musician, and both of you all working together. Look how that came full circle,
Oh,
So
yeah, it's a God thing. It's a God thing.
It is a God thing. It is. Now, one thing that you mentioned was the kids having the drumsticks and doing the air drums. Do you feel that that's important? Do you feel that kids can learn that way?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you talk about inspiration and you talk about imagination. So we was just to take those two words and then you put them together. You're going to have, it's even though you're not getting lessons, you're getting a lesson every time that you are watching, because that's one of the things I feel like in today's time, I wish we were more like, if you see a little kid take some type of interest in what's the word I want to use? Take interest in playing an instrument or wanting to serve somewhere in the music industry, what's the word I'm trying to use? Music ministry. Then let them do that. Don't, back then it used to be like, no, you can't play the instruments. No, which it did have its own precedence because it was all about reverence. But if someone, you see all these videos now, there are kids at the age of 3 playing the drums, and then by the time they hit 5, they're phenoms. And, it wasn't until I believe some of the musicians like my dad, and I can kind of go into this path, he had equipment at the house. So when he saw that I took interest in it, it wasn't that, it had to be left to the church for me to always want and keep showing that I had interest. I went straight to it at home because he had a keyboard there. And then he saw that I was interested into it. And so once I kept doing things on the keyboard, then he wanted to, just give me my own keyboard one day. I came home and had a professional keyboard, and it wasn't like the Casio Yamaha with the speaker keyboard.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, he was like, when you play this, until you get something else, you have to stick with this. And he showed me a few things, just a few basic things, and then from that point on, it was just like, it was one of those things where I took heed, but it was more of a spiritual thing. Because back to your question, it is important, playing the air drums, it helped out. There's a lot of musicians who are phenomenal just based off of them playing them air drums. And once they got on the set, like they were playing as if they never, they've been playing the whole time.
Yes. I love that you used inspiration and imagination. Those are two powerful words, because when you see people doing great things, you are inspired by it. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't choose to go in the same footsteps, to see someone continuously work their craft, that it takes hard work and dedication to get to the next level, And I was tickled when you talked about the Casio, because that's what I had, I never learned.
No shade.
No shade. Christmas morning, we get the little Casios and, all of those things. No shade at all. But I wish that I had dug deeper. As a woman, I didn't see a lot of female musicians growing up in church. I just didn't. We saw a few, but there were not a whole lot. I believe I probably saw one drummer, which was around my age. I want to say her name is Jennifer from Seattle, I believe, when I was younger. And then, Annie, who was playing the bass,
Yeah, Annie
yeah.
Ruth.
Yes, who was playing the bass. But other than them, you did not see too many people, females playing music, we were always in the choir or, on the ush ward and different things like that. So I love that, you guys were inspired. I wish today that I had taken the time to learn an instrument. Now, let me just digress a little bit. My mama did put me in band. Okay, y'all. She did. I played the clarinet for a little bit. Nobody else around me was playing. Don't laugh, Mike. I played the clarinet. Nobody else around me played the clarinet, but I did enjoy it. As a matter of fact, many times I think about buying another clarinet and learning, you know what I'm saying? Reteaching myself how to play, just to have an instrument to play, Anyhow, I digress.
You might be filthy out here in these streets.
You never know. Mike, I gotta pick it back up. You know what I'm saying?
Never too late.
It's never
too late until it's too late.
I totally agree. At that time I was playing hot cross buns, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows what I could play today is what I'm trying to say if I pick it up again. You feel me? So let me fast forward until into the time when I met you, which was in the 2000. Well, it wasn't even in the 2000s. It was late 99 because y'all graduated around 2000-ish,
Yep.
So with that being said, you were in a group. So you were also singing at that time. Are you still singing?
I am, but okay, here's the fun thing. So I didn't do much of the singing. I was playing along with Chris, and their group was Perfect Harmony, which your brother was in that. But we would go play at different churches, and it was so cool. It was a blessing. And I sang not out. I sung more at like practice. So like I really didn't sing with the group like that. And man, them singers was amazing. Which we've built our career together with Emmanuel.
Absolutely. And Perfect Harmony, they had Perfect Harmony. It was a great group. Just some of the members that I remember was, of course, my brother Eric, Peanut or Emmanuel, Chris, I believe, was in there, right? Breeze.
He was the main musician as far as keys. I believe he even had Dewan had played too.
Wow. So what do you think about a Perfect Harmony reunion? Have y'all thought about doing anything like that?
I think a long time ago, it was like talked about, but you know how things go, life be lifing. So
it does. But you all should have a class reunion coming up. So maybe y'all could get together and do something. You should have one coming up soon, I'm sure. So I mean, just a thought. Your classmates would be happy to hear it, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
I remember them.
Yeah, exactly. I have Shayna on here. She said, I played the clarinet in band too in school. Don't forget about the recorder. I know that's right, Shayna. The recorder. Yes,
I was horrible at the recorder.
If I
feel that any instruments which that should have been the easiest. I bet I can get on there now and just go to work. But back then, I was grade A horrible on the recorder.
This is grade A horrible. Not to give yourself a grade A at being horrible. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. I have my cousin on here from Atlanta. She said, great show. Thank you so much, cousin Sandra Denise, for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Yes, indeed. So, okay, we're going to go back. We talked about music and we talked about your dad and, just those around you being an inspiration. But when did you fall in love with music and know that this is what you wanted to do as your career?
Truth be told, it was middle school.
Mm.
I had and now you went to look. This is interesting because I found out you also went to McElvey. Am I correct?
Yes, I did.
I went to McElvey and I went all 3 years. And during McElvey, Miss Turner was our music teacher.
Yes.
And Miss Turner had I was in choir, but then because I could play a little bit, she let me play. I forgot which song it was, but she let me play a song. And it was literally at that moment where I was just like, I want to do this. Like, we always was asked in elementary school, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And my thing was, I think it's just because, when you have a father figure or you have a dad that's there, there's just things that you want to do that they want to do. And my dad was well, he just retired, so I can say was now, but he was an engineer for Boeing. On top of musician, he had his own band at the time, Coalition, and they were a smooth jazz band.
Yes.
Which did come out of he started in the church, obviously, and the name of their band was Michael Cole and the BIC, which was Brothers in Christ. But there was a band in Seattle that had that same name, so they wanted up changing it, and that's how Coalition came about. So my uncle, which plays the bass, my dad, together, being musicians and just watching them, I knew it was either I wanted to be an engineer, I wanted to be an astronaut, or a music producer. And I remember in elementary, I specifically said that because, at that time, you didn't really hear about anybody except for Quincy Jones. So
right.
I was intrigued with, the music from Michael Jackson back then. And as we were getting older, fast forward from middle school and high school, Pharrell and, the Neptunes, that came out. And so Chris and I, between them, of course, Battle Cat, which was, he did a lot of the West Coast beats. So Battle Cat and then Warren Campbell with Mary Mary, just them sounds collectively, they help kind of shape, the interest in going harder at being a music producer. So
Nice. Yes, indeed. Well, look, I don't know how you found out that I was a totem, but I sure was. I was. And I repped McElvey proudly. And Miss Turner, shout out to her for sure. She was one of the best music teachers that I've ever had. And it's so funny because she was just real. She was real with us, She loved us. We knew that she loved us. She brought out the best in us. And as I got older and I was able to talk with, some of my instructors from the past, nobody really believed in McElvey. You know what I'm saying? We were on the east side. We were the underdogs. We were the kids that were supposed to be bad and all of this, but Miss Turner, she took us and made us feel like we were really somebody. How you saw, what was the movie? Lean on Me. That's
it felt the same. Even with us, it did. I'll never forget because the cool teachers back then were was her, Mr. Spice, and Mr. Hines, which was Spice's partner. I don't know if he was there around the time he was there, but those three were like, and then Mr. Wickens, which ended up going to Lincoln.
Yeah,
but they all played a pivotal role in like the kids who winded up doing things, even those that didn't do a thing. It's just they were there for us. So she was like, Al brought Spice up because we took a trip to Portland. I don't know if were you in choir back then?
What? Absolutely. Every year, every year.
Yep. 6th through 8th. We was out there. So the 8th grade trip, we went to Portland for a competition, and we did really good. But I'm telling you, like you said, it felt just like Lean on Me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because again, we were looked at as the underdogs, you know what I'm saying? But greatness came out of Malcolm Bay. It really
Yeah,
did, you know.
yeah,
And like some of the teachers that you mentioned, I believe I knew everyone except Mr. Hines. But Spice was a blessing. You know what I'm saying? He was fun, he was silly, all of those things. But he loved us, you know. I
yeah.
even used to go candy selling with Spice. So that's
Oh
really
yeah,
cool and all the stuff that I did, you know. But I was part of the candy selling crew. I was making money in middle school, you know.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we also did a lot of touring and things with her. And yeah, like she would have me sing lead on a lot of songs. Kim
Oh,
Bailey, if she saw me doing something that she thought I wasn't supposed to be doing, which I really wasn't doing too much. Kim
mhm.
Bailey, you saved though, right? You do know Jesus, right?
That's
Yes,
how she
Miss.
said that she knew we went to church. You ain't lying. That's how it was with us. And then
Yes.
Miss Boyd, who is now, I think she's a retired principal. I'm not sure if she's still in the school, but Miss Boyd, she was the sixth grade teacher. So she was the
Okay,
other
Miss
one.
Boyd. I
But
believe I remember her too, Miss Boyd. Yes, yes, indeed. But you know, coming from greatness, I love that you discovered, you know, that you loved music at that time. And Mike, you and I are friends, so we are really having a conversation in front of the world. And I hope that you all are enjoying this time that I am spending with Michael M. Eichelle. He has so much knowledge. He's been in this business for many years now. I'm going to ask him some more questions, and I do see questions and comments here. So I want to kind of dive into those as well. And then I
okay,
want you to talk more about your career, some of the people that you have worked with. Although you are a Christian, I know that you have worked with secular artists as well. I want you to talk about your team, and you're in the studio right now. Okay. You are actually sitting in your studio. So I want you to talk about that. There are so many other things, but let me get to these comments and then
okay.
we're going to come back in. We're going to dive in. Thank you all so much. Again, keep pressing the like button. Please press the share button and please subscribe, y'all. Please subscribe to Talented Television, Talented Thursdays, as I keep bringing you positive people. And if you have not as of yet, download Vegas Praise Radio, where Talented Television is featured twice a week. I want y'all to be listening everywhere, and I want y'all to support Vegas Praise because it's some great artists that we play on there as well. So I see Jania. Jania is one of my friends from sixth grade. So she a totem too. You hear me? She said
Yeah.
she is the GOAT of all music teachers. Talking about Miss Turner. Yes, indeed, Jania. We did so much. She would have us singing. One of my favorite songs that Miss Turner had us do was Carol of the Bells.
Yeah.
We would do it a cappella. And man, we would sing that song. Do you hear me? So that's still one of my favorite songs today. I have my mom on here. Let me see. I want to bring up her comment. She said, Miss Turner, my mom's name is Herdy Randolph, y'all. Miss Turner made me sing a song and I never will forget. Now, that's a funny story. She did have my mom sing, and my mom could sing, y'all, like for real, okay? But the thing is, Miss Turner was the teacher at the school, but she was also over at St. John. So when
Hmm.
we went to church, she told my mom, I want you to lead this song. My mom, like, I don't know this song. And it was coming up, y'all, because it was like a convention or something that we were getting ready to do. And she said, oh, you're going to sing this song. My mom said, Miss Turner, think I'm one of her students. But I tell you, my mama led that song and people were healed. Do you hear me? During that song. So I thank God just for Miss Turner, and it's just a shout out to her for sure, because she's imparted some things into all of us, you know, that has been beautiful. I have my god sis on here, Danny Marie. She said, hey sis. Hi, Sir Michael. I have a question for you both. What are your thoughts on the state of the music culture in the greater Tacoma, Seattle area? Thanks.
Hmm.
Mike, I'll toss that to you first.
All right. First, I'm gonna say, hey, Miss Danny Marie. That is a great question. I feel like we are starting to gradually get to a place to where people are getting noticed because there's it's always been talent out here. but I've always felt like there's just hidden things within our music scene as far as the culture in general. It's like it's we still haven't had an identity yet, if that makes sense. So it just seems like we can become the new Atlanta, if that makes sense, because it's an untapped market, and once again there's a lot of talent out here, but we just need to come together to create how can I say this? We have an opportunity to be a gym. So like places like Oakland, even Georgia, a lot of those places had the music community, and they all supported each other before they even blew up, before people knew that area, and that area became what it is now today. You know, that Southern sound or a particular culture as far as like in the West Coast or even in Miami. Well, Miami has a lot of other artists that come there collectively, but even New York, if you think about like how hip hop was created, they were already supporting. They had a movement going on already before it flooded, you know, the world, or flooded our area as far as America. So I just feel like it's like almost there as far as having an identity. But what we need is someone that is going to be like what's the word I want to use? They're basically going to set the precedence for us to be able to have a sound, because right now, like, we don't have as many outlets. Like, you see different groups and stuff on like the news that they show out here. We have a few radio stations, but none of them are like not really kicking out like the true artists, the true sound of what we see like when you go to certain shows. And so it's just lacking a few things, but it's getting better.
Absolutely. I agree. And I think the word that you might have been looking for is a pioneer. You know what I'm saying?
Thank
A
you.
pioneer
Yes,
to,
exactly.
yeah, absolutely, to open the door. So for myself, the West Coast has a sound that is unlike any other coast. Like he was saying, like Mike was saying, there is a sound for every coast. So the West Coast, the South, the East, we all have a sound. As a matter of fact, I was a part of a writers group for a while during COVID. And so we wrote a lot of music. It was just a production team that had musicians, that had writers, and all of those. All of us working together, and singers as well, of course, working together, rappers, all of us work together to create music. So basically the musicians and producers dropped beat after beat after beat. We worked in teams to get things done. When I would lead something or drop, my sound on something, the producers knew her sound is different. She sounds like the West Coast. You get what I'm saying? And I do, because that's where I grew up. Even though I'm from the Midwest, I grew up on the West Coast. And so with that, being said, it was just little nuances and certain things that I would do with my tone, or the way I would drop a note, or, that they knew it was a West Coast sound. With that being said, I pray that doors begin to open further for those that are still in Tacoma. And I say that because, like Mike said, there are so many people there that are gifted, but a lot of people transfer to another state because there are not a lot of open doors there. To me, there's a ceiling in Washington, especially in Tacoma. And there should be no ceiling because, like he said, there are so many people that are great artists there. So hopefully the opportunity will come. But I love musicians, producers. As a matter of fact, we have another producer, musician on here right now, Navell Davis. He said, "Oh, yes, good evening. Good evening, my brother and my friend." He's another great producer, as well as his son and Danye and all of those people that come from, the Pacific Northwest. Again, great sound. Just need a bigger pioneer, not necessarily a bigger pioneer, just the door to be kicked down so things can, break forth. So they could break forth. So I hope that answered your question, Danny. That was a long way around, but I hope that it answered your question.
But you know what? I want to add something that you said, and something that I think the main point that I was trying to get to is could you imagine what would happen? Like, so you take Navell, my dad, the Joneses, and that's all the Joneses. Like, whether it's the Joneses of they were anointed to praise Joneses, or Jones of we just talking about Annie Ruth and the family.
Yes.
So if you
Watson, we can't forget the Watson.
Yeah, exactly. So just imagine, and it's been happening lately, and that's why I said we're getting close. But when everybody comes together, if we put certain resources together and support each other, the thing is imagine if somebody was to go, I don't know, say gold, or not even gold, but just made a lot based off of once somebody puts a record out, everybody just goes and gets it. And then we're all playing it because we're sharing it, and it doesn't matter if it goes outside of Washington State or Tacoma or Seattle or whatever. If everybody does that it speaks the volumes of just movement, and that's the main point. When there's a movement, people follow. So once we get that, that's just something that I've always felt. That seed, and there's been a lot of support, throughout the years, but it's still like, we need that main support. So like if we had people who had radio stations and they're playing our songs on the radio, then, it's going to do what it's supposed to do.
Yes, Mike, that's so important. And I like that you said that, because it is going to take a collective unit for this to happen. You know what I'm saying? It has to be a collective unit. And we as musicians, singers, songwriters, producers, all of these things, we have to be afraid that somebody is going to get ahead first. Somebody has to get ahead first, period. It has to happen in order for the doors to be open. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, a movement, you are absolutely right. In order for a movement to take place, it's going to take those who are from that area to get up under somebody. So you think about New York and the East Coast, you think about people who didn't know who Wu-Tang was at first. You know what I'm saying? They got up under Wu-Tang. They didn't know who Busta was at first, but they got up under him. They were all like underground people at first. You get what I'm saying? But because there was an underground following that pushed them, that's how they got to the mainstream. So, I think that's a great idea. I mean, even if you named all these great people, all these great artists in Washington. If all of y'all got together and did like a compilation album, you get what I'm saying? Like, where could it go if everybody got up under it and supported it? You know what I'm saying? It could happen. So an idea. That's an idea. It's a dream. It could happen. We gotta move, y'all. We gotta move.
I'm sorry.
It's good stuff, but time is moving. Let me get to these comments. I have Desron Marlowe watching. Marlowe said, "M.I."
What's up, Desron? How you doing? Long time no see here.
Absolutely. He is watching from Dallas. Danny said, thanks to you both. Again, blessings to you. Blessings to you as well, Danny. Let's see. Estella is on here, who is also an artist from Tacoma. She's a gospel artist. She said, hey, y'all. Hey. Yes, indeed. And Danny Marie said, it's our time. Yes, it is. It's time to make some noise. It's time to make some bigger noise, because y'all got it. I mean,
we're getting close.
Yes, indeed. MI, let's move forward. Again, thank you all for watching. Make sure you keep hitting that like button, that subscribe button, all of those things. But let's talk about some of the artists that you have worked with. You have been producing for some years now. Tell me how long you've been producing. You all were 253. So I want you to talk about your team and who you are today. Let's talk about that.
All right. So a history lesson. I'll say I have been producing now for a little under 20 years. So about 18 years. Say like right after high school. And I'm saying that on the serious side, because we made beats and sold beats and was producing that way. Even in high school, we were in the studio in high school. We would take our money from working and would, pay for studio time and record songs back then, but we
So
didn't
let
really
me pause you for a second. So that time counts as well. When you
Okay.
took your money and you put it in, you've been producing over 20 years. You can say
Okay.
that because just
Okay.
because it wasn't at the
True.
level that you were at now doesn't mean that you weren't already producing. So you've been doing this thing over 20 years, which
Okay,
means you have experience in the game.
For sure. And we do have plenty of placements. So I'll start with the history. We started a label, and with the label, man, there's so much. I wish we had more time so I can just because we got stories after stories. But I'll just say, when we had our label, we did make some noise in it. We did have a single that was called Swagger. That was by Emmanuel.
Not to cut you off, but I want you to talk about your partners because I want their names to be mentioned as well. So this is you along with
Emmanuel Frere, which is we call him Peanut, but Emmanuel Frere. He's an artist, but he's a producer as well, writer.
Yes.
And that song went #1 on the Billboard charts for 13. It was between 13 and 16 weeks straight. And he did get the Independent R&B Artist of the Year award. And my our other producer, my business partner, as well as friend who I mentioned earlier, Chris Breeze Fuller, me and him are the ones that were producing him for all that time. And so that song, it made some noise. We were going to sign with Universal. Actually, we had a contract and came up with the contract who. I won't even go into that, but we were going to sign with Cash Money, and it's just amazing how God has his ways of just doing things, and we didn't, unfortunately, but we worked pretty much with them. So for a long time, there was like a big, huge rumor going around that we were already signed because we were in communications with them a lot. But from that, we did break away from that some years after. Then we formed the production team 253 along with Derek DC Clark, and all of us came together collectively to form that group, and we were able to write and produce 4 songs off the Illusions album of Marion. And a lot of people may know the song Speedin'. I'm speeding, I'm speeding. We wrote and produced that. We wrote and produced Temptations on there, Code Red, and Hoodie. So those were all on that album. We've produced for Neo, Trey Songz, T-Pain, worked with LaToya Luckett. We did a song called Stranger.
Nice.
We work with Marcus Houston, and the list kind of goes on. I've been able to play for Dorinda Clark. When she came out here, we played for her. And I feel like I'm leaving some people out, but we work with a long list of people.
Yes, indeed. You all have. I think did you work with Mary J as well on a project?
No, we didn't work with we haven't worked with Mary J. At least not yet. That doesn't mean that we won't.
I know that's right. Maybe I just spoke a word. I love it. That's awesome. You guys have done a lot and you have put in work, but you're no longer 253. Your new name is
the Kingsman. So we go by the Kingsman. And that's Emmanuel, myself, and Chris Breeze Fuller.
Okay, the Kingsman. I like that. I like it a lot. Emma, this time is flying. This has been so much fun. Just talking with you, catching up, sharing stories, sharing knowledge. Before I have you share some music with us, because I definitely want to hear you play something, what word of encouragement or inspiration would you give to someone that's watching tonight?
Oh, immediately I would say never give up. Never give up. Like push through, push forward. I remember throughout high school, even my own mom would be like, go get a job. Don't focus on this. And she wouldn't say like, stop doing it, but it was just like, have a plan B. And I was just focused on there is no plan B. Not saying that your story is going to be my story, but I just knew. And the other thing too is I would tell people, have faith in God. That's one of those things that, some people believe in God, but they really don't know. So I would say get to know, because I truly live by and believe in His word, and His word said your gift will make room for you. So I know where my gift came from, and it's been able to literally provide what I do. I do this for a living. Some people felt like, you couldn't be a producer, or you can't be an artist, or you can't, even with sports, you might not make the team, but you can later on create a team. You can later on you could be the gym manager of your own gym. Thing is, it doesn't stop at just whatever it is that you want to do. So keep going forward. Don't believe in the negativity. And you're always gonna have haters. If you don't have haters, something's wrong. You gotta have haters.
So if you don't have haters, you're not doing a whole lot, huh? You're not making a lot of noise. Yeah, there's always going to be someone who doesn't believe. But I love that as a Christian, like you said, that God said that our gifts would make room for us, and where your gift comes from, no matter what area or arena you go into. I love that you're always Mike. You know what I'm saying? You've been so humble. Even when you were young, you were humble, and nothing has changed about your heart in that way. And I love that about you. I almost forgot to tell the people: music producer, engineer, songwriter. And if y'all loved Where Would I Be, my song that I released a few years back, this is the gentleman that produced it. All my music, everything. Michael Cole worked on that, produced that music for me. So the video that you all see and all that, and the feelings that you feel, he helped me bring my song to life. I took it to him, I sang it the way that I wanted it to go, and he put all the music to it. And when I got it back, y'all, I was like, my God, today.
So hey, I'm glad you said that, because fun fact, and shouts out to, and he's phenomenal. He grew up in Alzheimer's as well, but Brian Williams, he goes by B3, I believe. He was a part of that record too. Me and him collabed on that music side of it.
Nice.
He took what we did when you first brought it to me, and then did his thing, and we did what we did, and the rest is history.
Look, Alzheimer's was full of talent. Okay, y'all was blessing that wonderful name of Jesus for real up in there, huh?
And he started out as a drummer. If people didn't know, like, he started out as a drummer. So when you see him now and he's doing his thing on the keys, just play them drums too. I don't care what anybody says. If he's just don't believe him. Hopefully he sees it.
He does that.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, shout out to you, Brian. I appreciate you as well. Mike, the time is getting short. Come on, bring something to the table for us. What you got? While you're getting set up, I got somebody in the comments. Oh, Shayna, thank you so much. She said, Where Would I Be is one of my favorites. Amen. Thank you so much. I really want to release it. I re-release that song. I want to re-release it. Absolutely. Let's talk about that offline. Okay, my brother.
All right.
We could do it.
Yeah, that's still relevant.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Shayna. I love you. All right, M.I., what you got for us? We got a few minutes left.
I'm gonna try to be as quick as possible. So there's these three artists I'm working with currently, and Breeze as well. One of them is Refresh. It's a sister group. There's three sisters: Jessica, Ray, and Raquel. So Ray is Rashana. So they go by Refresh, and that's R3 Fresh. And they have a song out currently called Favor, and the one that they first put out that I produced also is called Life. But they have a new one that they just released, and it's called Drip, and it's featuring Les J. So there's some rapping on it, and you're gonna love it because it's a summer banger. It is a gospel joint, but there's no but to it really. This is a gospel banger. You're gonna love it. So if you haven't heard, look it up. It's on all the different sites for music. And then there's another girl, sister who I produced, who just actually not just, she gave her life to Christ and switched from R&B to gospel. And I've been working with her for a little bit. Her name is Rahel B. and we have a song that's going to be coming out called Made Strong. I think we're going to call it just Strong. I'm not sure yet, but Made Strong. And then we're working with another artist. Her name is Veronica, and her style is like gospel smooth jazz. So I'll play a little bit of Drip. I'm going to play a little bit of Made Strong. And Veronica's music, she because we haven't copyrighted it yet, we won't play that. But
all right, I got you.
So I'll play a little bit of Drip. I'm not going to play all of it.
All right, let's hear it. Y'all by Refresh and produced by Michael M.I. Cole. Here's a sample of Drip. D-R-I-P. Let's go.
Let me start it over. All right, here you go.
They wanna know our name. They wanna know our name. Yeah. When I step out and I step on the scene, I know I look good and I know I'm living clean. No shame in my game, no shame in my talk. You can tell that I'm different by the way that I walk. I got my head held high and my high heels too. I only look low just to look at my shoes. People wanna know how they get like me. I tell them B-I-B-L-E. They wanna know my name. They wanna know my name. Yeah. Jesus Christ I claim. Don't wanna take his fame. People want something different. Everyone is calling us now because we're different. Everyone is checking us out because we're different. People want something different. Drip on them. Drip, drip, drip on them. I'm glad I got that drip. I'm glad I got that drip. Drip, drip, drip on them.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
All right, so yeah, to that.
Yes. Right. Shout out to Refresh. Drip on them. Yes, indeed. What else you got for us? Am I?
And then this is actually out. I feel like you guys would like this. And I'm going to play just a little bit of it so I could play Made Strong, because Made Strong is going to be the one that's going to probably be the next release single for Rahel. But this one is out. It's called Higher.
Okay.
You take me higher, show me the way. All of my flaws, you wash them away. Day and day, you bless me. I don't deserve your praise, even without no questions. Lord, I'm just trying to see your face. You put me on this earth for a purpose, and I believe in your faith. See, Lord, how you work it in mysterious ways. Using me for your kingdom, for those who call your name. Paying the burdens down, and never be the same. Oh no, 'cause I know for sure you still set me free. You still set me free. You take me higher, show me the way. All of my flaws, wash them away.
Yeah.
Guidance is all I need. Guidance is all I need. Yeah. You are.
Okay, and this is Made.
Yeah. Wait. What's her name? What's her name?
Her name is Rahel B.
How do you spell it?
Rahale and then capital B.
Rahel B. Higher. Let's go. I like that. We ain't just gonna skip over her like that wasn't a vibe. Jania said that's a banger. She said in Jesus' name. I know that's right.
And this will be the newest one as well. So this one right here, she thought that was a banger, she'll like this one. You know, Afrobeat is kind of like in, not kind of, it's in. But
no, it's in. You're right. Let's go.
Here you go.
always provide more experience. Nobody to grow with. God is my strength, He is all I ever need. I can do all things through Your grace is sufficient. Your power perfected in me. Over my weakness, I'm made strong. I'm made strong.
All right, and so that's what you have. Fun fact, I'm
Yes.
on that. That's me on that on the male voice in there too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Jania said, yep, that one too. Highway vibe.
I like that.
Highway vibes. Yes, indeed. Shout out to you, Michael M.I. Cole. We call him M.I. We call him Mike. Shout out to you and your crew over at the Kingsman. Y'all are doing your thing. Shout out to your new artist from Refresh. And was it Rahel?
Yes, Rahel.
Yes,
Rahel
Rahel.
B. Rahel B.
Rahel B. Shout out for sure. I thank you just for coming on tonight, for sharing your gift, your knowledge, your inspiration with us. This has been a blast for me. I just want you to know that I love you and I appreciate you. And to all the artists in Tacoma, keep doing y'all thing. You know what I'm saying? Keep going. You guys are representing and it's good music. Like I'm gonna put both of them in my my little playlist. So I just want y'all to know. And for those of you that are watching, make sure that you get the music as well and follow Michael M.I. Cole. Tell them quickly where they can follow you. We're gonna wrap it on up.
Okay, you can follow me on Instagram on m.i._Kingsman. And then on Facebook, it's just Michael M.I. Cole.
Awesome. Awesome. Make sure you all follow him, support, show love. Mike, I appreciate you. Like I said, I love you. This has been a blessing for me. You have encouraged me once again. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a friend. Like they say, travel down the road and back again. That's enough of that. I don't want no copyright, errors or whatever. But that's what I'm saying from my heart. I appreciate you, my brother. You have been there from day one, that I've needed you. So thank you. As Stella said, that's awesome. Shouting out your artists. Yes, it is. It definitely is, because that's the kind of heart that Mike has. So if you all are in need of a producer, an engineer, a songwriter, make sure you look him up. Check him out. You have options. Y'all got some good old options in Tacoma. I'm just telling you the truth. You got some great options, and M.I., my brother, is definitely one of them. Any final words?
Yes, I wanted to say you guys also check out working with Ronell Jones. He's a pastor here locally, but we did a Christmas song with him, so you can check that out. And that's called, oh man, I can't even think of the name right now, but check out his song. And I wanted to also, let me see, what is the name of that?
While you're finding that name, I'm just going to give
I really do love you. And we're working on his daughter's a few songs. But I also wanted to do something serious before we get off, because as musician, producer, we've lost a great, few recently. So I wanted to say, continually pray for Quinnell Gaskins. He just recently passed. Bishop Michael A. Brooks, because he was a huge part of our just upbringing when it comes to commission. He passed, and then Aaron Spears as a drummer. So I just wanted, with them, all their families, and just them being inspirations, wanted to just say something about them, and just wanted to take that serious moment to continue to pray for their families.
Amen. You all, please say a prayer for those families who, as he said, has been such an inspiration. Thank you all for watching Talented Television, Talented Thursdays with M.I. Cole on tonight. I'm your girl, Kimberly Eichelle. Make sure that you're following, watch, subscribe, all those things. Make sure you download Vegas Praise. If y'all want more, you got to come back next week. We have run out of time, but I love y'all, and we will see you next time. God bless. Bye.